Moses Stamps was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and is the father of 2 daughters, Mariah and Monique Stamps. Moses Stamps is the president and founder of Save Yourself, CDC. Save Yourself, CDC is a community organization that offers spiritual guidance, social development, professional development, community resource, navigation, and mentorship to at-risk individuals and families. Moses currently serves at Messiah Missionary Baptist Church, Grand Rapids, Michigan, where he was licensed as minister of the gospel under the leadership and guidance of Dr. Clifton Rhodes, Jr. Moses is currently enrolled at Cornerstone University in pursuit of his Master's of Divinity from the Grand Rapids Theological Seminary. Moses is a firm believer in the fact that without the gospel, there can be no change.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for reading that bio. Can you all hear me well? Are you sure? All right. I want to be able to flow with this again. I want to say hello. Good afternoon. Are you enjoying the conference so far? Are you really enjoying the conference so far? All right. We've had some dynamic presenters, some dynamic speakers. So we truly thank and praise God for each person that has come and poured into us from an educational standpoint, from a technology standpoint. And then lastly, after I get done, we'll have our keynote speaker come by the person of Dr. Rick Stevens. Amen. Amen. So I don't want to be in your way too long. If I can get this title slide back up, Brother Ray, that would be great. If I can get the title slide back up, I don't want to be before you long. Again, my name is Minister Moses Stamps. I am a father here in Kent County. I'm originally from the city of Chicago, where I grew up and was raised by my grandmother. And you'll see a little bit more than that. But today I'll be speaking on the topic of fatherhood and families. All right? Fatherhood and families. And, I feel like we should get a little more acquainted. I didn't want to just come in here giving you a bunch of pointers without you understanding that I have a good premise and some credentials as it relates to being a daddy, all right? So I want to give you a little bit background about me. Don't laugh too hard or I'm going to look at you funny, all right? But that picture you see right there is my mom, my brother, and myself. The little big head boy with the ears to the left is me. Yeah. You can tell, Sister Lancaster. Don't laugh too hard. I said don't laugh too hard, y'all. All right? But then you got that young gentleman sitting there on his mother's lap. That's my younger brother, Marcus, all right? And then that fine, beautiful lady in the back right there, that's my mama, y'all. All right? So I'm originally from the city of Chicago. I grew up being raised by my mom. And then it transitioned and I got put in the hands of the matriarch of the family, amen? And by the person of my granny. Y'all, I love my granny, y'all. You know what I mean? My granny did all she could to try to put me in the best positions in life to succeed. Yet, like most people, I had a life of rebellion, chose to go the opposite way. But nevertheless, I thank God for my grandmother being willing, okay? All right? But there's something I want to point out to you, right? Like I said, I want to establish my credentials for being able to say this. When it all said and done, CEO, student, preacher, all of that, when that's all done, at the end of the day, I'm a daddy, y'all. I'm a daddy. And so when I put up there my M&Ms, the reason I call them my M&Ms is because both of their names start with an M. One of them, my oldest name is Mariah, and my youngest name is Monique, all right? All right, so I got a little hashtag I like to put up when I post different pictures with them, or if I got them together, I call them my M&Ms, right? So that's our little thing we got going on, okay? But I want to ask a question before I get too far. I'm going to go back. I just gave you this picture, right? I'm going to go next. I gave you that picture, right? Then I go here, right? What do you see missing from my childhood? My daddy. My daddy. Right? My father. Right? So we see these great memories, but I have to keep it real with myself like most people may be having to keep it real with themselves in this room. Y'all, that's another person I kind of wish was in those photos. Right? So before we get to going too far in this workshop, I want to play a video into your hearing because I want to, after we're done with the video, we're going to have a small activity, but I want you to listen to this video as it relates to what's the definition of fatherhood is, right? All of us have different perspectives as it relates to dealing with our dad. Some we had our dad, some of us we didn't, right? So some of us can have a different perception as it relates to the word father or fatherhood in general, all right? So I want to play this video real quick. Right? I want you to listen up to what these guys are saying as it relates to the word father, all right?
Arrogant. He does not know how to say,
Sound up.
I'm wrong.
Supposed to be role model.
Very selfish.
Supporting cylinders.
Hustler. Men haven't gotten away from their traditional roles, which is to be the provider and the protector of their families. And to do so, you must be a hustler.
Authority.
Tough love.
Double and an angel.
Gone. He's never there. He's never around. He's an asshole.
Gone as well. He had a separate family. He wasn't really there in the life. We're a little bit closer now, but up until the recent years, definitely out of the picture.
Missing. Fathers are missing in the black community. I think I was the only one of any of my black friends whose dad was around growing up.
Me, I raised myself along with my mom. I'm the oldest out of 4 children.
I found mine. I went on a search and I found my father, and and that was a really interesting journey. I think it's important that you find your father and know who they are, because when you don't know your father, you don't know a segment of who you are.
Love, because I love my father since I don't see him that much.
Awesome. Brave.
Nice.
Hero. A strong male.
Very wise man. Gave me a lot of wisdom and what I like to say, game.
Strong.
Caretaker.
Oh man, my dad's the man. Patient.
Trust. He instilled in me the means that trust is everything.
Father.
The best. You get to raise a child, all your conviction, all your belief, all your beauty, all your ugly, everything goes into that child, and hopefully that child comes out 10 times better. I think we mostly try to do that. It's your only opportunity to start again with something you love more than love itself, more than life itself.
So how do you guys like that video? Resonate pretty well? All right, so by show of hands, I want to get a quick gauge of my audience. How many of you grew up with your father present in your household? Okay. How many of you grew up without your father present in your household? Okay. All right. All right. How many of you had a father around, but even though he was alive, he was absent still? Okay. All right. Good. So I want to make sure I'm in the right place as it relates to this next activity. Now, I want a few people, I need young and old alike, I need you all to participate, right? I want to play a game called word association. Okay. And what I'm going to do is say the name, I'm going to say the word father. Right? And when I say the word father, I'm going to ask for a few people to pop up and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind. Now, let's get some rules. Not the first sentence, not the first paragraph, all right? Give me the first word that comes to your mind when I say father, all right? Do I have some volunteers? Show of hands who I got to volunteer. All right? All right, keep those hands up. Keep those hands up. Father. 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 Oh, you didn't have it. Sorry. Father. Father, father, father. First love. First love, father. Gotcha, pastor, gotcha. Father, protector. Hands. Who else got it? Father.
Wise.
Wise. Best friend. Involved. Wisdom. The worst. Oh, okay. Another word. Shame. Drugs. Love. Alcohol. Cheat. We're going to talk about that. Direction. Dependable. Did I miss anybody? Father. Leader. Disciplinarian. You got it? Huh? Love it. Teacher. Huh? Not absent. And did I miss anybody? All right. So the reason I had you all do that is because just like the video you just heard, have any of y'all met any of those people? Come on, talk back to me now. Have y'all met any of those people? But yet, we went around this room and collectively, we all said some of the same things that were said on that video. Right? Can I get the PowerPoint back up? Give me one quick second, please. Okay. Nope, you need to go down to the left corner. Left corner like you're looking for something. There's an envelope where it looks like a piece of paper. All right, you want to click on that and use slideshow. Boom. Thank you, sir. All right? Now, the reason I had us establish that, like I just said, we realized that even though we've never met any of those people, yet all around the board, we have some commonalities as it relates to our experiences with fatherhood, right? We've heard some good connotations as it relates to fatherhood, but then we've also heard some bad ones, right? So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about a little bit of the facts here, right? We're going to go through these as quickly as we can, but fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of high school. Would you agree? Yes. Why so? Talk to me. Why would you agree with that statement, young man?
I would say that because their fathers are not present, so they don't have some type of inspiration, don't have no disciplinary.
No discipline, no structure. Isaac.
Lack of support.
Lack of support is huge.
They don't have a father to teach them how to become a man.
Teach them how to become a man. Good. Any others?
They don't have a father to help them through situations.
Did y'all hear that? When life starts to happen and they get in tough situations, they don't have a father to help them through it. Mixed emotions, all right? All right? So we would all collectively agree that fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of high school, right? We see many different factors for it, like we just heard the young man say today. Hey, lack of support, lack of motivation, right? No solid example of anybody achieving anything before me. So why would I think that is mandatory for me to achieve, right? Makes sense? Next fact. Children with fathers who are involved are 40% less likely to repeat a grade in school. Would you agree with that? Kind of for the same reason we just talked about in the first one, right? That at the end of the day, if you are involved, I think I heard somebody say when we did the word association, they said involved, right? And we're going to talk about that more in this PowerPoint and in this presentation, right? But when children have their fathers involved in their lives, they are more likely to succeed. So how does that relate to young people and old in general? Our young kings sitting in this room are the seed bearers that we will need, that will reproduce for the future, amen? So once they can begin to understand that their impact starts now, not when they produce the baby, that's the wrong time to try to become a man. You need to be practicing right now. And I'm looking at the age bracket that we have here, and I think this is applicable and able to be able to be comprehended on a broad spectrum, amen? All right. So again, fatherless children with fathers who are involved are 40% less likely to repeat a grade in school. All right. Then I want to jump down to that last one. Children with fathers who are involved, there go that word again, are likely to enjoy school and to engage in extracurricular activities. Would y'all agree? Yeah. All right. So a couple fathers. Give me an example of something that you've engaged in that has heightened the excitement in your child's life, if you don't mind sharing. Fathers. Parent-teacher conference. Huge. No, he's saying something there, Brother Tony. Practice now. Why is that important, different than the game, Brother Tony? So what you're saying, I don't got to necessarily yell at you if you mess up. I don't got to clap real loud. Just me even being there. Just looking out at the stands and seeing your daddy makes a big difference. Will we all agree with that? Oh yeah, I agree with that as well, all right? So here's some of the more risk factors we need to discuss as it relates to being involved with our children. 43% of U.S. children live without their father, according to the U.S. Department of Census. 90% of homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. That's why I started out with the question, hey, well, how do you guys define fatherhood? Let's play the word association thing. Let's see what we believe goes into fatherhood, because every characteristic that was stated is what's needed to avoid some of those things that we're reading about right now. 85% of children who exhibit behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. I think I heard one of our young people say, hey, no structure, lack of discipline, right? I'm going to be real here, sisters. Our women do a great job. Let's give our women a great hand. Because guys like myself, when my father chose to create something and not take care of the responsibility, it was a woman that stepped up. It was a woman that stepped up, all right? But here's the significance in that. I talk to my grandmother about it all the time. In the midst of her trying to do her best, she admits that there's something she just couldn't teach me. She tried. She said, Tip, that's my nickname, don't y'all call me that. She say, oh man, Tiff, it's some things that I tried to give it to you, but I promise it's some things about the male figure that I could never be. And I realized the impact of that once I started to run into grown men. And I heard a little bass in the voice that didn't make me so courageous. Like some of our young people do when our mothers are trying to coach us through, or our grandmothers are trying to coach us through. Why am I bringing all this up? Not to frighten you, but if you don't remember anything else about this presentation, remember this one statement. Fatherhood is real and relevant. I gave those statistics. I had you listen to that video. We did the word association so all of us can realize that fatherhood, despite what we see in the media, despite what we hear in music, despite what we see on our television shows, fatherhood is real and relevant. All right? So I want that to be emphasized. We've come to an African American male conference. So this is a chance for us to affirm the male presence within our community and the importance of it. All right? So yeah, we want to talk about some of the ways we were falling short, but we wanted to also highlight the fact that fall short or not, it's important to be involved and active as a father. Make sense? All right, if you don't mind playing this video for me. Now, we went through some of the fun facts. You can hold on just a second, Brother Way. We did some of the facts, right? Some of the facts. Some people learn differently, and some people like numbers, right? We did the word association, and some people are like, oh, okay, I get it that way. Now I want to go to a video. And what you're going to hear in this video is a spoken word. So I want you to hear the expressions of a fatherless child from her very own words in her creative way. Does that make sense? And we'll come back and talk about it a little bit more, all right?
When's the last time you heard a poem about an absent father? And if you can recall the answer to that question easily, well, that's the problem. That's why many of us ran into the warm arms of poetry. Why many of us found life within the boundaries of a page, of a space, of a blank array to create the man we wanted to know. Our storytelling started while we were old, but young in flesh. Young at heart, curious about why we were left. They could have been Supermans or presidents, artists or veterans, anything to distract us from what the ugly truth could be, that maybe he just didn't want me. So we wrote, and we wrote, until lies became truths and planks of wood became boats, became the tool that kept us afloat to survive within this beautiful lie, to protect us from the storms that our mothers hated to hide, pulling back the wool over our eyes, trying to show us that this is simply life. And this is not how you are defined. Instead, we took that advice and created something from nothing.
My Lord.
Because a child with no father is nothing but a refugee searching for a place to call home. And the moment that your father is absent is the moment that you have no place to belong. We have no place to belong. We are walking halves with missing cultures. We are thirsty vultures trying to finish the other side without peeking before it's finished, though. And by the time we have grown into adults, we look like Picassos. Two faces with different perspectives. The face forward, confident detective of identity. The other looking to the side, trying to figure out why me. The color choice especially. Because we have been made up of colored oil that hasn't reached its full term. Term oil that churns and churns until gray is a palette that breathes. Because although we are full with so much vibrancy, it's really the gray that matters underneath. Because that gray resembles uncertainty, and that goes back to he, to him, to the man we call father, to the one responsible for bringing us into this place. And his responsibility is something that he chose to erase, which is why we erase lines and rhymes that don't fit. We are our fathers. We are using their gift to create something beautiful, share it with the world, and then exit.
Thoughts? Comments on that?
Powerful.
Powerful. Any other feedback on that?
Moving.
It was what? Moving. Why was it moving? Talk to me.
I say because some of the poetry that she was using, so that could give people insight on how to describe their fathers
Yeah. Good. Yes, sir.
I would like to add on. It's a movement because it talks about even if you don't have a father, you can keep on going.
You can keep on going even if you don't have one, right? Yeah, I'll be right to you.
So often the female is missing in the discussion.
Okay.
Because it seems like they're more mature than the young woman, the young man.
Okay.
But it's beautiful having a woman.
So we forget that some of our daughters are affected by this and impacted by fatherless homes, right? Right? We always look at the boy, the young man that don't have his daddy, right? Yeah. Jeremiah. Jeremiah give it a 2. I'm going to talk to him why he gave it a 2. I don't know yet. Jeremiah tough, man. He tough. Be right to you. He a tough critic, man. You got to come with it, Jeremiah. I'm telling y'all right now, if you present in front of Jeremiah, you got to come with it, Doc. All right. Huh? Touching. Why was it touching, young man? Yeah. So the young man saying it's touching because at the end of the day, I can relate to that. Like, man, we love our daddies. We want to have a relationship with them. Jokers ain't there, man. Right? Is that what you're saying, man? I'm with you. You heard what I said, right? I grew up without him too, all right? All right. Brother Ray. Okay. Definitely. That's right. Well said. 2 different languages. Would you all agree with that?
Yes. And I would say that she is saying everything that a young man really wants to say.
Ooh.
But he has not been given permission to say that.
Ooh.
As a matter of fact, if he is too emotional,
Ooh.
then he's looked at unfavorably. So even though he is walking around just as fearful as he can be, without a clue, not going to express that.
I'm coming right to you, Isaac. That's important. You're going to see this later in this presentation as fathers. We have to create an environment that makes it conducive for our children to be able to talk to us and express themselves in ways that they may not feel so comfortable doing. All right? But like you said, there's a stigma, right? The female is willing to express a little bit more like, hey, I'm hurt that you weren't there. Me, myself, it took me to about 25 years old to finally say I needed you. I'm just going to keep it real because I was that person. Like, oh, I'm straight. I got this. I got the hood. I got the guys on the block. I got my homies. I ain't got to show that I've been thinking about you. I don't got to show that I wish you taught me how to shoot that jump shot. Right? Right? Good. That's good. Brother Isaac, we're going to keep it moving. The video was rough. Why was it rough?
Because the fact that it's so close to reality and that nobody really wants to kind of show that it actually affects them.
Yes, sir.
And the fact that some fathers that might have watched that are kind of just like, I left my child. And that hurts because it was rough to them because of the fact that they made the mistake of leaving.
That's right.
And they will never be able to share those interactions of how they become successful.
Yeah. So let's stay right there. I like that because her opening line was, and I'm coming right to you, her opening line was, when was the last time you've heard a spoken word about an absent father? And in most people's minds, they reacted probably saying last night, last week, last month. And she said, well, that's the problem. Like Brother Isaac is saying, that's a tough video because truth be told, that's a peel of reality. Right? When I went searching for what video I would have to show y'all and what can make an impact, I tarried through a whole lot of different material. And God brought me to those 2 particular videos because God was speaking to me saying that's the peel of reality of what y'all facing. That's the reality. That's the reality. And that's a tough one to swallow. That I'm here, but I'm still absent. Or I was supposed to be present, but I'm absent completely. That's tough. But we're going to talk about that more as men. I seen a young man with his hand up, then we're going to keep moving.
Some people, that's fathers, but that's not really fathers to their kids because they grew up with a father, they know what a father being like. Because you got kids out here, I grew up with a father that's doing drugs, alcohol, don't know what it is to have a father in their life. And you got gangsters, that's not what it is to have a father.
Yeah.
In their life, so they're doing wrong. And you say, it'd be good to have a father in your life, so you can have a father teach you how to be a man.
That's right.
You grow up to be young, successful young man. got dreams and goals, but you can't live that goals if you don't have a father in your life.
That's right.
That's my teacher I gave you.
That's a perfect segue into our activity, y'all. Now, I need a little cooperation with this activity. I designed it this way for a reason. Y'all been sitting in chairs stationary all day, right? Just getting comfortable. So I kind of want you guys, if you look throughout the sanctuary in the front, I have a working station here to my right. I have one station right here in the middle right here. Then I also have one right here. And then I also have one right here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have some transparent moments. We're going to gather around these tables as a group. And we're going to discuss, we're going to make a list. We're going to cut the paper in half. We're going to divide it in half. We're going to discuss ways that we know our fathers have been present. You're going to give maybe just one of those ways he's been present. And then on the other side, we got to swallow the tough pill. So dads, as you're writing on there, write how you know on this side that, yes, I've done my job. I'm doing my job. But then have a good reflective moment to say, you know what? There's some areas where I think I could probably do a little bit better at. Does that make sense? Children, those of you who have fathers and don't have fathers alike, on one half of the paper you give how daddy has been the person that you need him to be. But then I also want you to feel comfortable enough to express one small way that this person could be better for you, or in a way that you wish they were there for you. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. So feel free to come on. Let's get on up. Let's get on up. Come on. At this moment in time, I want to bring us back to order. All right. Thank you, Jeremiah. Go on this side, Jeremiah, right here. Yep, and hand it to anybody that don't have one. Ask them, do they need one? All right. Feedback. How y'all feel about that activity? Good. Was it a good reflection moment? Impactful, right? Able to talk about some things that we probably ain't dug and talked about in I don't know how long, right? All right. So I want to kind of get out your way. I want to be mindful of time. So my next couple of slides, forgive me if it feels like I'm going kind of fast. Just tell me to slow down if I am, all right? But I want to propose two questions to you just for sake of brief discussion. Number one, is it possible to be present but still absent? Yes. How so? Somebody tell me how.
Because he was never, he's your father.
Spending more time watching television than you do.
So more time with the TV than with my kids, right? How else is it possible for me to be present but still absent? Brother Isaac.
Spending more time at work than like.
Ooh-wee. But we got to provide, right? Uh-oh. You saying something?
Right and the wrong. What's going on?
Got to know what's going on, all right? All right, so, sorry, Sister Tina. In the home but not involved. So next question. Is it possible to be present if I'm not married? Uh-oh, is it possible for me to be present if I'm not married? Yes. How so, D? Listen up. I'll be right to you.
Because you can still go to basketball games, conferences, and everything else.
You can still go to basketball games, conferences.
Football games, you can still help with homework, do everything else there. Even though you're not at home, but you can still go by and take care of your responsibilities.
Even if I'm not married to her, right? There's still a way to be a present father, okay? So here's what I want to talk about to be able to heighten your presence in your child's life. Whether you are married or whether you are separate from the home, all right? This information is geared towards dads, and here's the reason why. Because we notice that some dads neglect certain areas in this instance. However, all parents present today, this information, grandparents, aunties, uncles, this information is pertinent and very vital to ensuring some success in your child's development, all right? So if you have the handout, you have a handout with a blue sheet, all right? Everybody got that? Everybody got a blue handout with a hand on it? Let me see that for a second. No? Hand up if you don't have it. Hand up if you don't have it. By hands, go give everybody one that needs one with their hand raised, okay? We got Leah. Okay? So if you don't, try to direct your attention. All right? Try to direct your attention to the slide up if you don't already have the handout, because again, I want to be brief and keep it moving, all right? But 5 protective factors to strengthening families. One great thing I love about the work I do at Great Start Parent Coalition is that we don't just implement our own ideas. We implement things that are evidence-based and supported by research, things that help, all right? So number one, to heighten your involvement with your child requires you to be social and emotional competent, all right? I think I heard one of the groups, Sister Watts said it in her group, that, hey, sometimes people don't connect like they should. Right? Sometimes you can be around, but you always giving a cold shoulder. You're never giving any hugs. You're never affirming. Right? So one way is that we can be better parents, better fathers, future fathers, is to understand that socially and emotionally we need to connect with our children. All right? And how can you do so? By being emotionally responsive. If they come home feeling bad about a grade, don't just say get over it, do better. First of all, come wrap your arms around them. Affirm them. And then encourage for a modification in the grade, all right? All right? So be emotionally responsive to your children and model empathy, okay? All right? Develop healthy social skills, all right? Make sure you, in order to be socially competent, that means the people that you hang with as a parent have to be conducive to your goals as a family, right? Can't be bringing people in your household that's going to cause you to get kicked out. You got to be socially competent. Stop creating relationships that's going to add stresses to your life and that's going to make you less present as a parent. All right? Then you have to have knowledge of parents, and this is huge. I can't tell you how many people come through our doors that don't even simply know who to go talk to about grades. Right? And that's the teacher. Right? That's a duh. But you would be surprised because people are lacking in knowledge of parenting. Right? When they want something changed at the school, they go up and they're yelling at administration when that's not the people that changes anything. So you have to have knowledge as a parent to understand that I need to go to a local school council meeting. I need to go get involved with different boards, all right? So you want to have knowledge as a parent. Knowledge, also with knowledge and as a parent, you want to provide structure and guidance, all right? As well as nurturing, responsive, and being reliable, okay? Then you want to watch your social connections, which we kind of talked about. And forgive me, I'm breezing through because I want to be mindful to get Dr. Rick up, okay? Then you want to create concrete support. Okay? Be resourceful. Be resourceful. Don't always be somebody that when they call on you can't never help with nothing. Right? So we talked about that. A lot of that has something to do with you maintaining the flow with a job, maintaining good relationships, because when your kids have these issues, it heightens their confidence in you when they can bring it to you as a parent and problem solved. All right? So you want to maintain that and then lastly, you want to have some parental resilience. All right? Life does not stop happening, right? So as a parent, we want to be resilient to life stressors to the point where, again, these life situations do not take us away from our children, but in fact allow us to grow, learn, and be able to teach them further. Does that make sense? All right? So again, to be more involved, all you have to do is try to practice some of these 5 protective factors. And the reason on your slide here that you see that as a hand, if I had more time, I would go to one of my favorite scenes on the movie Soul Food. How many of you saw that? 1996. Soul Food. Big Mama. Big Mama said all these fingers separate basically can't do nothing. But when we put them together and we balled up a fist, she said you can strike a mighty blow. So I want to encourage you as I wrap this lesson up. Ball up that fist. Be socially competent. Create a concrete support. Right? Be resilient. Ball that fist up. Be the solid rock and the foundation that your children can depend on. All right? All right? Lastly, any questions and comments at this time as I get ready to wrap it up?
I would just share this, that, we can parent children in several households, right?
Yep.
We have to separate their rental from the person. We separate those two.
Yep.
Keep our focus on children. We'll always get to where we need to go.
Yes, sir.
So, there's so many instances where we get that all convoluted, and as a result, children get messed up.
Well said. Well said. Any other questions or comments? Sister Lancaster, now I'll be right to you, Brother Wells.
Just wanted to impact upon women and speak on the part of women. For us women who have fathers and for women who may not have fathers, don't look for your father in a man.
Well.
Because if your father has been absent, make room for your children's father.
That's right.
So that they can be the children's father.
That's right.
I'm a paternal grandmother, and I got 5 baby mamas that I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself really between a rock and a hard place.
Rock and hard? You got to find another word for that. Yes, sir. Good, that's good. Last comment, I want to keep going. I want to wrap up because Brother Dr. Rick I got 3 more comments. I'm sorry. Sorry. Brother Wells first. Make it brief, please, Brother Wells.
Yes, I was a single parent.
Okay.
My first wife passed through my kids like 9 and 10 years old.
Okay.
So I had to work, of course, like Brother said over there.
Yeah.
I had to work 50 hours a week, so I had to be a dad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But anyway, I didn't want to marry until my kids got grown and out of the way.
Okay.
But that's why I messed up.
Grown and out the way. I'm sorry, Brother Wells. No, the reason they laughing, Brother Wells, because I think everybody's been there a little bit, right? They like, look, yeah, when these jokers get grown, I'm doing me. Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't hug my kids and tell them I love them.
Okay.
But I said to be involved with them in sports
Yes, sir.
and other activities in school. And I'm just sharing one quick thing. But anyway, one of them, which is my stepson, he's been incarcerated off and on through his life. But they told him in prison one time that most of you kids are in here because you didn't have no dad. But he raised his hand and told them that, no, my dad was a good dad. I'm in here because of some of his
Choices. Yeah. So, Sister Tina.
Just to add to Jonathan's character and child development, it says that we are the #1 teacher or the first teacher. Just to add to that, I always say that I'm my child's advocate.
That's right.
Their first advocate.
That's right.
So whatever they go through, I'm the one that speaks up for them as a parent.
That's right. One more, last. You good?
I was just, sometimes men see things through 7 lenses.
Seven.
Could you touch upon that?
I only got time till we can talk afterwards, though. All right? Sounds good? All right, I want to be mindful of our keynote speaker. Did you enjoy this workshop? All right? All right? Good. Thought to remember as I get ready and close this workshop. Well, no, that's not a thought to remember. If you don't have a church home and you're looking for a place to worship, we are here at Messiah. Sunday school starts at 9 a.m. Worship starts at 10 a.m. All right? I'm going to leave that alone. All right? But thought to remember. Right? One of my favorite quotes, and here's what I want to leave on your lap as men and as parents. The ultimate measure of a man is not defined by where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in moments of challenge and controversy. Fatherhood won't be easy. Family life is not easy, but your true character will come out when you can stand in the fire and deal with some of this stuff, all right? So who you really are is determined by how you hang in there when life's pressures start to happen. All right? Sounds good? Give the Lord a hand praise if you enjoyed this workshop. All right? Sorry about that, Brother Rick. I think I cut into some of his time. So if we hit at 3 o'clock, it's my fault, not Brother Rick's. All right? All right.